How does the world's most recognizable skyscraper, sitting at the very heart of Manhattan, end up totally abandoned? The Flatiron Building, birthplace of New York's steel frame revolution in 1902, crowned with 22 stories and a silhouette seen in films, paintings, and millions of tourist snaps, stands eerily vacant behind its iconic wedge-shaped walls. The story isn't just about faded grandeur or routine renovations. It's about a battle for power, fortunes lost and won at chaotic auctions, and a 120-year-old marvel now frozen by legal wars and modern obsolescence. What happened inside these silent halls to turn an immortal symbol into an empty ghost? The true answer starts now. At the turn of the 20th century, New York's skyline was still stuck in the age of bricks and mortar, short, squat, and safe. Then came Daniel Burnham, the architect with a reputation for big dreams and even bigger blueprints. In 1902, his Flatiron Building rose up on a sliver of land where Fifth Avenue slices across Broadway, creating a 22-story steel-framed wedge that looked nothing like anything the city had seen. Critics called it Burnham's Folly, convinced the winds would knock it down, but the steel skeleton held firm. The Flatiron became a star overnight, appearing in paintings by Edward Hopper, popping up in movies from Godzilla to Spider-Man, and drawing photographers from around the world. Its sharp prow and narrow halls turned a quirky engineering gamble into a global icon. For over a century, it stood as proof that New York could outdo itself every single time. For decades, the Flatiron buzzed with the energy of editors and writers. Macmillan publishers called it home for over 60 years. But by 2019, the quirks that once made the building famous had turned into headaches. Outlets for computers were scarce, and the wiring couldn't keep up with modern tech. The elevators, already tiny, broke down so often that staff joked about taking the stairs as a fitness plan. Some rooms were just 6.5 feet wide. Stretch out your arms, you'd hit both walls. One longtime employee summed it up. It was a special place to work, even though the Wi-Fi signal gave up at the pointy end. When Macmillan packed up and left, the Flatiron's lights went dark. The world's most recognizable triangle was suddenly empty, and not because nobody wanted it, but because it couldn't keep up. 5 owners, 1 wedge-shaped building, and not a single shared vision. The Flatiron's fate was trapped by a partnership agreement that demanded everyone agree on the big stuff: renovations, leasing, even what the building should become. GFP, real estate and its allies pushed for a modern office revival. Sorgente and others floated luxury condos. Nathan Silverstein, holding the largest single stake, wanted a museum or boutique hotel. Every major decision hit a wall. Silverstein vetoed renovation budgets, blocked new leases, and challenged marketing plans. The result? Total paralysis. Emails from board meetings read like transcripts from a family feud, with accusations of stalling and threats of lawsuits flying back and forth. No upgrades, no new tenants, just mounting bills and endless arguments. The Flatiron wasn't just empty, it was locked in a billionaire staring contest, with the world's most famous triangle as the prize. At the height of the Flatiron's ownership feud, the courts threw down a wild card: public auction. On a March morning in 2023, a crowd of real estate insiders and reporters packed into a Manhattan courtroom, waiting to see who would claim the world's most famous triangle. The bidding shot up fast. Then came Jacob Garlick, an almost unknown investor who stunned the room with a $190 million offer. Gasps, then a gavel. But when it came time to put down the required $19 million deposit, garlic vanished. No check, no wire. Just a trail of headlines and red faces. The deal collapsed in spectacular fashion, called the most embarrassing auction flop in city memory. A second sale followed, this time with Jeffrey Gurrell and his partners taking the prize for $161 million. After years of deadlock, the Flatiron finally had a single owner. But the chaos left the building emptier than ever, its future still up for grabs. Inside, the Flatiron feels like a time capsule sealed shut. Desks sit abandoned, wires dangle from ceilings, and the only footsteps belong to security guards making their nightly rounds. One guard described it as walking through a shipwreck. Echoes everywhere, air colder than it should be. The silence isn't just spooky, it's loaded with risk. Engineers found ancient electrical circuits behind the walls, some wrapped in cloth insulation, others patched together over decades. Stairwells twist and narrow, barely wide enough for two people to pass. Fire marshals flagged the exits as too cramped for a safe escape. No tenants, no code upgrades, just dust, rumors, and the uneasy feeling that the world's most famous triangle is watching itself fade away. Developers now promise a new chapter, 38 luxury condos, painstakingly carved into the Flatiron's odd-shaped floors. Daniel Brodsky calls it a once-in-a-lifetime stewardship. But with Manhattan's office vacancy near 20% and high-end condos stacking up unsold, doubts linger. Even the first-ever LED lighting, approved to illuminate the facade by 2027, can't guarantee buyers. For now, the world's most famous triangle waits, caught between ambition and a city still deciding what it needs. In 2019, the Flatiron Building's last major tenant, Macmillan Publishers, left behind 22 floors and over a century of history. This iconic structure, once a symbol of New York's ambition, now stands empty due to outdated infrastructure, unresolved legal battles among 5 owners, and a failed $190 million auction in 2023. Manhattan office vacancies remain near record highs, raising real doubts about the building's future as offices, condos, or a museum. While redevelopment plans call for 38 luxury units and new LED lighting by 2027, no timeline has been finalized. Key questions persist. Why did the 2023 auction winner bid without financing? Will the new owners overcome the same market forces that forced the building's silence? What happens next is uncertain. The Flatiron remains a visible reminder that even New York's most famous landmarks can be trapped between past glory and an unclear future.